Alrighty, third try. Let's do this. Welcome to my channel, Re-Vera, where we talk about reality and reliable methodologies for finding truth and how that relates to politics and solving personal problems and all kinds of shit. I mean, fuck, if it's in reality, we can talk about it. But definitely had to put some problem-solving skills to use today. Good God. Fun stuff. So this is my third attempt at the stream today. My first one was buffering and it was not good, so I had to figure out what was going on. I had some programs that were in the background, so I had to go through the task manager and close those out. And it still looked like there's a lot of draw. It looks like I was trying Streamlabs OBS, which looks pretty cool. Looks like they have a lot of cool stuff. But it seems to be a bigger draw in my system than the just regular OBS. So I'm looking at it now, and it looks a lot better. It looks like we're not buffering. Hey, so I want to try putting it through its paces again. I would like to iron these things out. So anyway, the first one was a failure because of tech issues. I think we got those. That figured out. The second one, my wife went to the store to get some stuff, leaving the dogs alone, which, that's all fine. I have a sliding glass door right in front of me over here, and she locked one of the dogs out because he was being bad. Loki, 6 months old. So he was scratching and whining at the door, which, I don't care. I let him in. I was gonna, I put him on stream. And then I went to let him back into the regular house, and there's my other dog, my other puppy, Lucy, who's 6 months old, and her paw was run over by a car. And so she's been recovering, and she had managed to worm out of her big cone on her head and chewed her bandage off. And she's got all kinds of missing skin and wounds, and it's seeping. And it's like, I gotta take care of her and keep her from chewing on her wound and like clean it out and rebandage it because the vet's gonna be closed. So, yeah, that's my poor puppy. Had to take care of her. Had to do some first aid. But anyway, I'm back now. I think my regular audience is gonna be gone because it's pretty late. But I figured I'd do a little test stream. If anyone hops on, I'm glad to talk some politics. Otherwise, I'm just going to be putting different things up and kind of watching my task manager over here and seeing how it handles stuff. Let's see. Don't do that. Yeah, I want you right like that. So it was the Streamlabs. I had my chat. I'm eventually going to be streaming on my own website, which I'm looking forward to. It'll be through YouTube or Twitch, so you can still go through there. But when you guide people to your own website, then you can. It's a lot easier to haul over a whole lot of. You can restream on multiple platforms and just tell everyone to come to your website for the chat. So it helps you for discovery, but you can stream to more platforms. So I'm working on that. Hopefully I'll get there. And the Streamlabs OBS was how I had I had the chat set up to scroll through. I had alerts set up, but I guess that was a bigger draw on my system. So I need to upgrade it. I need to talk to some people who know some tech, and I think I need to figure out if it's going to make more sense to update the computer I have or buy a new one. Woohoo! More money. I think I'm going to try a game again. Last time it crashed out, but maybe these fixes will make it better. So looks like my stream is playing okay. Hey, somebody's watching. Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself. I'd like to know who's watching. Is this my regular audience or just somebody who dropped by? I don't know whether to introduce myself or just move on with it. So let me know what's going on. In the meantime, what should I do? Well, this is what I wanted to talk about in my stream before we got interrupted so many different ways. But all problems have a best solution. And this is all about solving them. This was specifically solving personal problems. But you can apply a very similar, if not the same, methodology to solving political problems. So I was talking about that and how it's important to define the problem. So if you have a societal problem, you could say like homelessness. Well, I mean, that's a presenting problem, but is it the core problem or is it a symptom of the problem? So you got to try to define it properly as to what we're actually trying to achieve. And obviously that issue, like most societal problems, is complicated and there's a lot to it. So being careful to fully understand the problem and its different root causes and whatnot, and then find the best available solution. This always takes critical thinking, no matter what kind of problem you're solving, because there's always a lot of different solutions. It's especially important when it comes to societal problems, because there's a lot of motivated interests, a lot of vested interests putting out propaganda, and it takes critical thinking and good use of evidence to be able to sort through all the garbage and figure out what's actually the best solution. But the biggest challenge is implementing the solution. And that's the reason that's so difficult is because of how evenly divided this country is. And that's not a coincidence. Well, it can't be. Why is it? How could it be a coincidence that for most of like for all of modern history, basically, the country's been very nearly evenly split. It goes back and forth between the parties. It's an awful big coincidence that we just happen to be so evenly split. It didn't always used to be like this. I think Reagan was elected by huge margins. A lot of previous presidents like FDR or whatnot, they're elected by landslides, like 70% of the country and more. Why has it not happened in the modern era? Well, I would present it's because of the technological changes that have completely changed the media landscape. So they used to be like 4 networks, and they had journalistic integrity, and more so. And they had standards for equal time, and that they weren't swaying the process quite as much, it seems to me. In the modern profit-based system, which not that they weren't profit-based before, but it was much more nowadays it's a lot more competitive. The attention economy's gotten a lot tighter because there's a bazillion channels, a lot of places for people to go. It favors the media establishment for things to be tight because more people pay attention to elections when they don't know which way things are going to go. If you looked at the polls and 80% of the country was going to vote for Bernie Sanders, you'd be like, cool, I guess, maybe I'll show up and vote for him in November, but I don't need to pay attention to this shit. He's obviously winning. But when things are up in the air and there's a lot of competition, It makes it much more engaging, and then people get paid millions of dollars to spout their political opinions because of how important that is, and because of how uncertain it is. So it helps the media to have a divided country. And I have noticed whenever one person's getting a lot more traction. I saw this in 2016. I saw this in 2012. I saw this in 2008. If one person has a lot of traction and is like starting to pull it for a good margin ahead, even the networks that typically favor that candidate, because obviously they all have their bias, but their number one bias is towards profit. They're profit companies. So win or lose, they care about profit more than anything, more than any of their political biases. So if their candidate is getting too far ahead, they're going to start being nicer to the underdog candidate. They're just going to start giving them a little bit more airtime, cutting them a little bit more breaks. And I think that's a big part of why we're so divided. That they always and they can never stake a position on something, no matter how clear something is. That's the other part of it. Because in the name of fair and balanced journalism, they make non-debatable topics seem debatable by always presenting the other side of it, which is absurd. You can't talk about climate change without having a climate denier on. It's like, that's dumb. There's no debate to be had here. But anyway, so because of how divided the country is, implementing a solution is difficult. So even if we get our people in office and we win the Congress, at best, according to the modern track record, you're going to have 2 years to get stuff done. And, of course, the problem is those 2 years, the other party is going to be doing everything they can to slow you down. They're going to be contesting all your appointments. They're going to be pulling every trick they can. They're going to be filibustering. They're going to be doing everything they can to slow you rolling out your agenda. And then, more than likely, you're going to lose the Congress, and then you won't be able to get anything done for the next 6 fucking years. This is what keeps happening. So implementing any solution on a political climate seems pretty difficult. Now, I'm not saying we should give up, because politics is incredibly important. It dictates almost every area of our life. It blows my mind that people say they're not political. Like, politics affects you in a massive way, whether you realize it or not. And it's time that we understand that and take it seriously. But we can't. What I'm saying is we can't put all our eggs in that basket. If we really want to change the world, if we really want to solve societal problems, we got to do a lot more than just vote, than just campaign. It's a project of at least a decade or two, best case. Even if we got everyone in office we want to get in, it's still going to take them a long time to change the system and to start educating people to where we can build a strong enough majority to keep the momentum going and keep our changes in effect so the other party doesn't roll them back. So, can't put all our eggs in that basket. It's important to do. And if you're like full-time political work, or if you're doing a lot of volunteer work, awesome. Good for you. But this realization that this isn't going to solve problems for who knows how long made me think about other solutions, because I truly believe every problem has a best solution. Like that's something I believe. All problems have a best solution. And so I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about trying to find a solution. And I think the best solution to societal and global problems is actually going to be we the people uniting in starting on a small scale, but being scalable, so you can demonstrate the effectiveness of what we're trying to do on a small scale. 50 people in a community. And if it works, and if it improves standard of living for everybody, it can easily scale up. And it can, once it's proven its effectiveness, with the proper support and with a few apps, this could quickly become viral and go all over the world. And whether it does or not, it wouldn't matter, because if you're in the community, that community is going to help improve your standard of living and improve your security. Because think about this. The scientists have said we have 12 years to do something about climate change. If we don't do something, civilization could be collapsing fairly shortly. It doesn't take a whole lot. We're riding a bubble here. And if shit hits the fan, so to speak, you're going to want a community of people that are working together to survive and work together. And you're not going to want to be a loner. You're not going to want to just have people you watch like me on the internet. You're going to want people that you can go work together and survive. You're going to want to have a plan if things get really bad. So community organizing and knowing real people in your neighborhood and knowing how to work together is going to be key. And the interesting thing is you can solve most of our problems in that way with a community. Like a lot of the stuff we want to achieve via the government, and I do think it is the best choice for the government, you could achieve on a voluntary basis through a community. And that actually doesn't scare people. Like, I can see people from all over the political spectrum joining in on that. I can see libertarians and right-wing people, because why wouldn't you? If it improves your standard of living and it's solving your problems and it's not state socialism. Like, they're scared of state socialism, but a voluntary community, that's a lot easier. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear my wife yelling at the dogs, but a little bit of a distraction there. Alrighty. Alright, well, my metrics seem pretty decent. Let's see what happens if I start a game up. I'm going to try Dark Souls first. And then I'll start, if that doesn't work, I'll start Minecraft. It should be a lot easier. Don't open on the wrong screen. Alright, resize and move it over. So, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by a community that's solving problems? Well, a lot of ways a community of people working together can do that. For instance, so think about how much waste you have. So you have your personal productivity, the work you do, and that productivity is what pays for your standard of living. Now, how much would your standard of living improve if you cut down on the waste that goes to profit and which goes to taxes? Significantly. So imagine a community of people where expensive purchases that aren't used on a regular basis. Thanks, Larry. This is kind of a test stream, so I appreciate that. I just turned on the game. Yeah, I know you can't see it. It's on the wrong screen. I'm changing that. So, I don't know if you heard the earlier part, but I've not been having luck. This is my third attempt at a stream tonight, and it's kind of a test stream. Why can I not? I can do this. There we go. The first stream failed for technical reasons. It was buffering a lot, so I gave up. And the second stream, I was in the middle of it, and then a dog was barking at my window, and then I let him in. Loki was barking, and I let him in, and was letting him into the house when I noticed Lucy had chewed her bandage off, so she was bleeding all over the place. So, poor puppy. Let me kill the music. There we go. And let me pull the comments over so I can see them. That's not what I wanted to do. They're not going to be on the screen while I'm playing. I don't think that's going to work. Why is it not letting me move them? There we go. But I'll put them over here so I can look over and read them off. And then let's go back to full screen. There we go. All right. So yeah, I think a community of people could be more efficient and cut down a lot of waste fairly easily like that. So, for instance, if they went together and bought a boat, you know, this is what I mean when I'm talking about waste when it comes to profit. So, if you go to a marina, you're going to see a whole lot of boats that just sit there and aren't used most of the time. That's a tremendous amount of waste. You can go to pretty much any house and walk into their garage, and they're going to have probably tens of thousands of dollars worth of hobby gear and tools that are just sitting there taking on dust and not being used. That's waste. If you had a community that was more frugal and shared more expensive items, and you could make it a lot easier using apps and stuff that tracked it. You could, have one person in charge of maintaining, and you could have a central warehouse or somebody who has a decent sized garage or shop storing it. That would save a lot of money and would improve a lot of people's standard of living. If this community was also a non-profit, like a religion or something like that, you could save a lot of money in taxes with various ways of structuring it. So if you're saving profit and taxes as a community working together, that's improving everyone's standard of living, and it's a much more robust form of existence. There's more friends, there's more social people, there's more people being social to each other, they're happier, they're healthier. And when civilization collapses, or if it does, but the way it's going, I'm not super optimistic about our chances for solving climate change or avoiding World War III and avoiding fascism and all this other stuff. If you have a community of people, you're going to have a lot better chances of surviving and existing. So, I think that's going to become important. Pretty much a textbook definition of community. Like a group of people that meets occasionally, that knows each other, that has friendships with each other, that trusts each other with their stuff, and is social, community. Here's my task manager. This is a test stream. So I've seen it cap out my CPU, my memory, and my disk at different points. But it was running Creative Cloud in the background. I was taking up like a third of my resources. So I closed that down. I was running Streamlabs OBS because that has a lot of cool add-ons and stuff. You can have alerts. You can have the text scrolling on the side, all kinds of cool stuff. That's what people... that's what it looks like a lot of professional streamers use. But it seems to be a lot more demanding on my system than the old OBS. So I've gone back to the old OBS to see how this works. And it looks like it's way the fuck better. Are you going to be back at your studio soon? Looks like everything's going well. Hey, Theory, do you think...
I most certainly can.
Wow, Theory, not Siri, you idiot. If you could go to Discord, you can create an account in like a minute by signing up with Facebook. You could click on my server and then you could guest in here. And I'm kind of curious if that's going to crash it because I seem to have I was having problems in the past with when I had guests on. So if I can play a game and have a guest on at the same time, that would be fantastic. So I'd like to see if that's possible. So you're probably doing stuff, but it'd be really cool if you could do that just to test it for a couple minutes and we could talk about some stuff maybe. Let's see. So if you can do that, that's the link. If you, it's pretty easy to do. Like I said, you can sign up for an account different ways. I think you can do it with Google or with Facebook. It'd probably make more sense with Google because then it'd be tagged as Theory Played. And then you just join the server and you'll see the live call-in channel all the way at the bottom. Yeah. Siri always thinks you're talking about her. She's a bit of a narcissist. Alright. Play some games. Where was I? Oh yeah, I just started this this game of Dark Souls, which is an awesome freaking game. There's an archer over there, but now I have a shield, which isn't even strictly necessary for this part. Because the speedrunners just run past the archer. Oh, shot me in the back. And there's a big trap here. Smashes open the wall. And I can go talk to this guy.
Regrettably, but Linet will now you oh. Now I would hate to harm you after death. And
Since I already killed the boss, I can just go right out of the whole tutorial mode. I've been playing Dark Souls a lot because I'm going to speedrun it sometime. So I've got the first 10 minutes or so kind of set. Kind of know what the route is and what I can do there. Yay, high-speed internet. That's awesome. I think my problem, I thought my problem was internet, but I think now I'm thinking that I'm looking at my task manager. I'm pretty sure my problem wasn't internet. I have 19 Mbps or whatever upload, so you only need 10 to stream. So it should be, actually you only need 2 or 3, but you need 10 to stream well with a game or something. So that should be plenty. I think the problem was my CPU capping out and memory. Oh, you said something about the smart TV. I wasn't sure what you're talking about. That's probably what you were talking about. A lot of what traditional communities share is not explicit or directly known. They are embodied practices that include a lot of background information. Yeah, I've thought about that. And I think you can have a lot of shared beliefs for a community that bond it together, that are based in reality.
In the ancient legends, it is stated
But obviously that's a role religions played.
one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true theory. I remember reading about what's the term? Let me turn the game volume down on this. So I was reading about what do they call it? It's like it's the psychological effects of a cult that basically a cult that believes absurd things is bonded together better because they all believe absurd things, and the outside world reacts against that, and the backfire effect actually strengthens the community bonds and their sense of identity because of that. And obviously Christianity believes a lot of absurd things, and that's how they got their start, and they've been strong ever since because of that shared sense of identity built around faith claims that aren't demonstrable. And I do think that's part of what builds the community, and that's problematic because there's a lot of downsides to faith, and I'd like to be able to build a similar community without the faith. It seems like you should be able to replace that with the actual belief in truth, belief in the methodologies of critical thought. Should be able to build up some traditions and rituals even that are, you can use metaphors and stuff, but without having to believe faith claims. So it's something that needs to happen, and I don't know if I'm going to be the one to do it, but I do think this is fundamental to how we can actually solve a lot of our problems, because we can't do it as individuals, and it's not going to happen through politics. So the only other option is something in between, a community that's smaller than a government but big enough to get some stuff done. For instance, if you had a big enough group of people, you can have health insurance for everybody, because you're negotiating directly with the healthcare providers at that point, and you can save a lot of money that way because it's a bigger negotiating group. You can cut out a lot of profit that way. So there's a lot of different, a lot of benefits you could gain from a community like that. In which way do you think it's not possible? Because it is some, I'm not saying to debate it, because it's something I would like to talk about, and so I'd like to know your thoughts on it. Does that mean you can't hop in Discord? It'd be really nice if somebody could hop in. Oh, you're in. Cool. Let me send a message to you. So I'm running Discord, Dark Souls. I have a couple browsers up. I just want to see if anything changes significantly in my performance here with a guest on. I don't know why it would make a tremendous difference, but every time I've had a guest on, it does seem like I have more issues. It seems to be hovering mostly around the 66 for both the CPU and the memory. I just promoted you. Actually, let me make you a mod. There we go. Should make sure you can click into the channel. You might not have been able to see it before. I forgot that I had it set up like that. So now that you're verified, you should be able to get into the live call-in channel. I mean, I'd like to talk about that. I don't think that's true, but I can understand the perspective that you wouldn't necessarily be human anymore because a lot of what we do is operating in ignorance and bad faith. I don't think that's a necessary part of the human condition. It's put that way because we do need to have some. You can't operate in absolute certainty about everything, obviously, but you can have degrees of justified certainty or uncertainty. You know, you can use these heuristics of critical thinking I talk about, like trusting expert consensus. That's a shortcut. It's a form of faith, but you're most probable to be correct when you do that. So it's a probabilistic kind of methodology and reasoning. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of assumptions. They can be justified, but not everybody, not all the normies are going to know all the layers of justification. They're not going to know everything. So there is some faith involved, certainly. I think educating people as much as possible is a good thing. And I do think that's an advancement for the species. So I don't know that... the only thing that gives me pause is that historically faith communities are better at building community. And I think it's that psychological effect of having a shared identity around something that you can't demonstrate, which is divisive. It divides you against everyone who doesn't believe that. But at the same time, it does strengthen the cohesive bonds there. Right. Oh. Why did it just spike? Not even fucking doing anything. What is it with test streams working better than actual streams? Swear to God. I just misclicked something and opened up my freaking email. So that was that spike. I don't know why the other one. I don't know why it spiked before. Let's see. I think it's just the two of us in the stream anyway. Right. Here, I'll just pull it on up over here. Zizek's life work is about elaborating on the fact that there are those who know not what they do, and then there are those who do but can't not do what they do. Right. No, I think that's always, there's so much humanity's knowledge at this point. Nobody can know it all. And a lot of people aren't even going to not know what they don't know. I mean, you have to be a specialist in a field just to really know what the unknowns are in that field, let alone everything else. But the academic methods we have in all the different fields have been shown to be quite successful. So if we trust the expert consensus on issues, I think that keeps us pretty good line. Yep, the unknown unknowns. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about. I'm not quite sure how directly applicable it is to the type of community situation I was talking about, because we're not trying to be perfect. We're not trying to be like the perfect arbiters of truth here. It's just a community built on trying to be as accurate as possible, trying to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible, and using that knowledge to better our lives. Using the problem solving to increase our standard of living, to minimize waste so that we can invest in buying and seizing the means of production in a literal sense, because if people are living more efficiently but still improving their standard of living, then they can have more resources to hopefully invest and start businesses and buy up infrastructure and start seizing the means of production the only way we really can. And, starting workers' co-ops and stuff like that. So I think, to me, that's the only solution I see to a lot of the global issues and societal issues we see, is trying to take direct action as a community to solve it for the community. We might not be able to solve the planet's problems, but we can work on our own. And if enough of these start up, we could start having an impact on the global problems as well. But the whole idea is it starts small, it proves its success, and then it's easily scalable. It's a lot. You think of the parallel of the Bernie groups, which I was planning on talking about that in my mainstream, uh, advocating people, if you want to try out this whole community thing, join the Bernie group, have an event. I was listening to your stream, and it's a great point, because if you're joining up with some Bernie pals, it's a good practice for building a community, and those might be the people you want to get started with anyway. It's good people to know. Bernie people are good people. But, it's scalable. You can have a lot of little groups all over the country, and then they just grow. He forgets about the category of the unknown knowns. Yeah. Have a good night. Get some rest. Thanks for coming on. I'm just going to try a couple more things and see what it does to my system here. And then maybe I'll try another stream with my laptop and see how different that is. Because I think it was actually working better with my laptop. Huh. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like, something that humanity in general knows, but you don't. But you're talking about things that you actually know, but you're not consciously aware of. Yeah, that's certainly a big issue. We have a lot of uh, environmental information we've absorbed that might be accurate, might not be, but it's part of our operating assumptions, and we're not even consciously aware of it. So that's a good point. Good night. I'll stop talking for a minute so it's easier for you to go to bed. Apparently I haven't logged in or something. Interesting. So, freaking new computers. Because I definitely bought this before. Bought it. How do I sign in? So why can't I sign in? Do I need to buy it just because it's a different computer? Probably. Just said I'm not getting enough. You're buffering. What the fuck? That is capping out my CPU. More than Dark Souls. Interesting. I assumed it would be easier. It's probably just because it's an infinite world. It's got a lot of space to load here. Speaking of which, I can probably reduce the how much of the game is being loaded. Where was that? Is it here? Yeah. I think now that we're loaded, it's fixed itself. Looks good. Nope, nope. Turned around and then it spiked my CPU again. Fuck. food. So I'm gonna spend the first night underground mining, and I'm gonna stay down there until I run out of food. So any food I can get before nightfall is good, and as much wood as possible, because wood I'm probably not gonna find underground unless I luck out and hit a mine. In fact, unless I luck out and find coal, I'm gonna have to use wood to make torches, which takes a fair amount. Night falls before I'm ready. It's a huge fucking pain in the ass. What do I need before nightfall? I need food and stone for a furnace, and charcoal would be really fucking nice. Ooh, what do we have here? That's gravel. I don't even want to fucking step there, but I'm going to because of that. Nice. Wait a second. Oh, I can't. No, I did. I thought I couldn't mine coal without a stone pickaxe, but I'm good. This is a huge step forward. Creeper. Come at me, bro. Come at me. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Nice little bit of mining you did for me. That stuff will all help me. Alright, so now I have a good amount of some more stone and coal would be nice. It would be really handy to have a stone pickaxe at this point. Why is it not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming? Fucking hell. I should have just made a crafting table and made a stone axe on the spot, shouldn't I? Oh well. Oh, something's behind me. Spider in there somewhere. Whatever, I'm done. Make sure I can find my... Oh. Oh, I had a chicken. Alright, I do not want to lose my spawn point. Have I already lost it? Which way did I run? Okay, I just came from that way. Jesus fucking Christ. Lost already. I should have built the spawn point up higher. Now there's a command you can do to find the center. It's just fucking easier to mark it. Okay, I know it was... Oh, there's my crafting table. Okay. I keep hitting the wrong button for my inventory. Oh, let's build some shit. get... Where was that nice little cave I was in? It was this way. Here we go. Yes. Hi there. Actually getting some string right now. Build a bow. It's gonna be nice. I wonder if there's a spawner in here. That shit would be dope. I should just bring the crafting table with me, shouldn't I? Very darkness. Oh fuck, there's an archer. I can hear his armor. Alright, enough stuff. Oh, night's falling. Where was that crafting table? No. There we go. Nice. Okay. Let's build a furnace while we at it. Let's just go for it. I'm gonna dig down. Oh wait, shit. Okay. Oh, I can get buckets of water. Ah. Well, if I can find iron on my way down and water, then great. Otherwise, I'll see if I have enough wood to build myself ladders up and go back caving the old-fashioned way until I get that stuff. But in order to do the fastest, most efficient mode of mining, you do need iron for buckets, and then you need water in the buckets. Don't see any iron. Fucking stone. I see ore. Right here. Yay. So now I can make buckets. And better picks, obviously. But if I don't have water, I won't be able to do anything with it. So, with any luck, on my way down, as I dig further, I'll hit water or a cave to where I can find water from. Let's see how lucky we are. Yay, more ore. This is a shit ton of iron. Holy God. Okay, I think that's all of it. 29 fucking ores. Not even down to bedrock yet. That is some good shit. Oh, fuck. Second there, I thought I saw a diamond. When you run out of light, it does weird things. Gonna have to cook myself some food as soon as I get down and make my base. Not missing anything. so now I need to figure out if this is bedrock level or not, because bedrock is uneven. So let's put a torch right about there. And of course it could be lava anywhere. Okay, I can go this many squares without seeing more bedrock. I'm gonna assume I'm standing on the top of the topmost bedrock layer. Do I want to go up above lava? I do, it's more efficient. Alright, so how am I gonna, okay, so the most optimal, so 1, 2, I think I should be right above that torch. That'd be a good layer to be on. And I want to keep this. So what I'm going to do, make myself, no, let's do it over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And whatever, it's close enough. Just call it. Yay, gold. Alright, so one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, torches on 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I'm not mistaken, 12 is the top of diamond layer. So I want that to be my ceiling. And since I don't have water or bucket, it's going to be a 2-high tunnel, and then that's going to be the floor. sure that I can mine that with stone, so I'm just gonna make my iron picks before I forget. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, it's gonna be 6. A big enough base room. Now let's go another 2 in each direction. That way it's 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So everything I'm not going to need down here, I'll put in this chest. And make some more furnaces. Three's plenty. Holy shit, I hit the wrong goddamn button. 27 furnaces. Okay, got enough furnaces for the whole fucking game now. Alright. Whatever. While my iron cooks up, let's expand the fort here. So I got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice big safe base we're gonna make in here. Enough room to probably have everything we need. Probably get my anvil and my enchanting corner and all that shit. A bed. Maybe even potions and another portal, who knows. Speaking of bed, I don't suppose I got enough wool to make one today. You need 3, but I think they need to be the same color. Yep, need that some shit. So if I got something I could dye with, can you dye with coal? Then I could dye them all the same color and then I could do some shit. No, you can't die with cold. So I think you can with redstone though. So I think when I find redstone, I'll be able to dye my 3 walls red, and then I can make a bed. As soon as I can make a bed, I can sleep, and then I can go up knowing that it's going to be day when I get up. Easy peasy. Figured that out. And we have more iron. Alright. I think I'm just going to have my base kind of basically set up. Before I go to bed. Okay. So that's... I'm going to have a tunnel on either side. So... To these Xbox controls. Play a lot of Minecraft, most of which is either in virtual reality with my Oculus, or on a PC, or on a smartphone. Keep hitting the wrong fucking button. What was that? Y I hit, I think? Made a fucking shit ton of buckets like an idiot. Keep 2 buckets out. Usually put my random bonus mining shit that I don't need for quite a goddamn while in a storage chest. That's actually... So, A makes a couple at a time. Okay. That's going to be our storage full of shit that is quite useless for quite a while. Those. All right. Get our food. Keep us going for a minute. I'll have a ladder going up there at some point. Let's see, what else do I want to do? Let's make it one higher. So I don't feel so goddamn claustrophobic. choice. Just pick one and fucking run with it. Which direction should I go? I need to find some redstone and or water. Then I'll go to bed. I swear. A second, that's an ore. There it is. Cool beanage. More R. Getting my iron early. Pretty lucky on the iron, but let's get some diamonds or redstone. Being so lucky with iron, but I just use iron fucking picks. But I'll use up the ones I have first. Yay, redstone. Hopefully it actually does work as dye. I think it does, but I'm not sure. Might not. It probably doesn't actually. What else can you find down here that can be used as dye? Oh, lapis lazuli. What am I thinking? That's the one that can be used as dye. Pretty sure that's used as dye. I just want to have a bed. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Obviously, I can't go to sleep unless I find a bed in Minecraft. Who's barking? Aha, cavern. Here we can find some shit. Good stuff. We can also, if we aren't careful, fucking die. Yep, lava. Lot of shit around here. Let's make this obvious. Don't see lapis lazuli. Don't see water. That's gold, and that's iron, and that's coal. I need water. Huh. Nope. Was not sure if that would work. So yeah, redstone's gonna be useful to me. For dye. I need lapis lazuli. Ah, that's annoying. Useful shit we mine in here. What's that? Sure, cobblestone or not. access this anyway.